Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB game scheduled for Monday, June 23rd, 2025. Now, if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the Experts tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. By the way, we've hit 6 in a row with our MLB rundown best bet. We are heating up in Major League Baseball. Yesterday was a 16-4 blowout win for the Seattle Mariners, and we've had a few coast-to-coast winners, no sweat winners 14-6. I got the scores mixed up for the Seattle Mariners in that game, but looking to stay red hot in Major League Baseball. So find that play at pickdawgz.com at the Experts tab. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Monday in Major League Baseball. First up, we've got the Rangers and the Orioles. Patrick Corbin for Texas, but no official starter right now for the O's. Now, I think I would lean towards the under if the weather wasn't so hitter-friendly. Now, the wind isn't going to be too much of a factor, but the temperature is scorching hot in Baltimore. It's over 100 degrees, looks like, for this game, even though it's an evening game, 6 p.m. start time, 6:30 start time. I think, Patrick Corbin has been solid this year. The Orioles have not been great against left-handed pitching. I could see them doing a little bit of damage against Corbin, but we also saw the Rangers offense start to get going a little bit in Pittsburgh. We know this has been one of the weaker offenses in Major League Baseball, especially on the road this year. But I think the Rangers can do enough in this one to take this first game. I think this is going to be a competitive series, but I'm going to lean towards the Rangers. Not my favorite game on the board, though. Next up, we've got the Braves and the Mets from Citi Field. We've got Spencer Schwellenbach and Paul Blackburn as the starters. Now, I know this is a situation where the Mets are playing with revenge against their rivals. They were swept by the Braves at Truist Park last week, and the Mets have been a lot better home team than they've been on the road. The Braves have not done well on the road this season, but it's also a really lopsided pitching match, in my opinion, with Schwellenbach going. I know he wasn't perfect against the Mets last week, but was still a solid outing, and Paul Blackburn I don't think is a viable pitching option at the Major League level right now, whether it's as a starter or as a reliever. He's got an ERA just below 7 in a small sample size this season, and I think the Braves can get to him. I also don't love the fact that the Mets are coming off the Sunday Night Baseball game on last night in Philadelphia. I know it's not a huge trip from New York to Philadelphia, but it's still when you look at these teams over the years that have had to travel after Sunday Night Baseball, they've not done too well on the money line. So I'm going to roll with the Braves in this one on the money line on the road. Next up, we've got the Diamondbacks and the White Sox. We've got Eduardo Rodriguez and Shane Smith as the starters. Now, I think this is by far the best chance the White Sox have in this series to win a game. I could see them winning multiple games, but this is a game where, they have a huge advantage with Diamondbacks coming off the Coors Field series. No days off in between. We should see some sluggish bats, although this season we've seen teams do a pretty good job at adapting after that Coors Field series with the altitude change. But I still think that going up against Shane Smith, who's been the White Sox best starting pitcher, and the fact that Eduardo Rodriguez is pitching, who has struggled mightily, one of the weakest Diamondback starting pitchers. A White Sox team in the last month has been pretty solid against left-handed pitching. I think it's just a really good matchup for Chicago, so at a solid price, I'm going to take the White Sox on the money line. Next up, it's the Pirates and the Brewers. We've got no official starter right now for Pittsburgh, but Chad Patrick should be going for Milwaukee. Now, over the years, this has been a pretty one-sided series in favor of Milwaukee. They've done a good job of picking up the wins over the Pirates, who have been pretty consistently in the last 10-plus years a bottom 5, bottom 10 team in Major League Baseball. And I think this is another situation where the Brewers take advantage of their matchup. Pirates, on the road now, where they've got a 11-27 record on the season. Patrick struggled a bit recently, but he's got a better matchup here against one of the weakest lineups in baseball. I think the Brewers take care of business in this one. I'm going to lay the 1.5 runs and take the Brewers on the money line in this game. Next up, the Mariners and the Twins. We got Brian Wu and Bailey Ober as the starters. I've talked about my concerns with Bailey Ober, and the Twins have lost his last 5 games now. They've also, in general, the Twins have played really poorly in the last few series. I can't get there with Minnesota in this game. I know Seattle's offense has been very inconsistent. Brian Wu's been inconsistent this year, but he's coming off one of his best starts of the season. I trust the Mariners bullpen enough to get the win. Should be a fun series, a competitive series, but give me Seattle in this first game on the money line. Next up, we've got the Chicago Cubs taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Ben Brown and Matthew Liberatore as the starters. I talked about Ben Brown last week. I kind of went on a Ben Brown rant talking about I think he's going to be a good starting pitching option for the Cubs as the season continues, maybe into a potential postseason run for the Cubbies. But, Brent Brown pitched pretty well in his last game. 5 innings, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts. He struggled early on, gave up a couple of early runs, settled down, and if you can go 5 2-run innings for this Cubs lineup, you're most likely to get a lot of wins, as the Cubs have been one of the best offenses in baseball. Now, in this game, they've not been great against lefties. Matthew Liberatore's pitched pretty well this season, but I still think the Cubs can do enough damage, whether it's against Liberatore or this Cardinals bullpen, which I've mentioned, I do think is a little bit overrated. And I think Ben Brown can go 5-6 solid innings to get the Cubs the W. Give me Chicago in this game. I think it's going to be a good series for the Cubs as well. Next up, we've got the Red Sox and the Angels. We got Walker Buehler and Jack Kohanowitz as the starters. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Jack Kohanowitz in terms of backing him too often, but I will say he's been the better starting pitching option compared to Buehler in the last few games. Now, he's still giving up a lot of sharp contact, a lot of home runs, but when you look at this Red Sox offense in its current state and the current lineup, no Rafael Devers, no Alex Bregman. This is not necessarily a great offense anymore, and I think that we saw that the Red Sox playing some low-scoring games in San Francisco. They were able to win a couple of pitchers' duels recently. Their bullpen's been great. Their rotation overall has been pretty good. But you got an Angels team that's got a dangerous lineup right now, especially when it's healthy. And I think they can do some damage against Buehler, who's coming off a start where he gave up 8 runs and is now, after a pretty good start to the season where he was winning a lot of games, the Red Sox were winning a lot of his starts. He's got an ERA just below 6 now, so I got to go with the Angels in this one on the money line at home. Next up, we've got the Nationals and the Padres. We've got Mitchell Parker and Stephen Kolek as the starters. The Nationals, for the most part, in that series against the Dodgers were competitive. And Mitchell Parker is not my favorite option, especially on the road, but this is a Padres team. It's been dreadful against left-handed pitching in the last month. They're the worst team OPS in baseball against lefties in the last 30 days, and I think Parker could put together a decent outing. I think the Nationals bats, which were competitive in LA, can get to Kolek for a couple of runs. I think this is going to be a close game. I think the Nationals have a really good chance of winning it outright. I'm going to go with the Nationals here, plus the 1.5 runs on the money line. And that's it. Those are the games for Monday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at the Experts tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. As always, Romanelli. Good luck.